is George Sison. George Sison is a name synonymous to so many things, so many great and wonderful things. During his teen years not so long ago, George had a privileged upbringing, which not many kids during that time had the chance to enjoy. He had achieved fruitful creative expression in many endeavors. In his 18th year, he joined the entertainment industry as a stage actor, both on campus and on the professional stage, where he played mostly the main roles. George modeled in front of countless professional cameras and brought life to so many clothes. Fashion clothes, avant-garde clothes, and even no clothes at all. George also ventured into painting and mounted 3 one-man exhibits as a painter-poet, which then gave birth to his books, In Words, in Color, 23 by 23, and Mirrors. 1970s was the golden age of original Filipino music. This was when George composed and produced an album for Pilita Corrales, of which the song What Name Shall I Give You My Love was later recorded by the world-renowned group The Platters.
What name shall I give you, my love?
George gained notoriety in his youth as the writer behind the provocative pseudonym Conde de Makati, whose eponymous magazine column irreverently revealed the most intimate goings-on in Filipino high society. During martial law under the Marcos regime, he was detained along with other journalists, student activists, anti-government politicians, and civil society figures. He narrowly escaped the fate of many of them, who died or disappeared under torture or execution. It was during this period that George began seeking a deeper meaning of his life experiences and studying esoteric subjects such as astrology, metaphysics, and New Thought. George entered television as the resident astrologer on Two for the Road with host Elvira Manahan and co-host Joey Lardizabal, who was replaced by Eddie Mercado and later on by Nestor Torre. And when Elvira came from a brief hiatus in the States, they guested George Sison's cousin, Margie Moran. A decade later, George co-hosted Manila After Dark with Gloria Diaz. Here is a rare photo where George is flanked by our very own queens, Miss Universe Gloria Diaz, Miss Universe Margie Moran, and Miss International Gemma Cruz. Not a lot of people know that George also delved in filmmaking and went on to produce what is now widely regarded as one of the classics of Filipino cinema, Pagdating sa Dulo, by renowned film director Ishmael Bernal. In his search for the meaning of life and answers to ultimate questions, George learned about simple but powerful ideas, which changed his life. In his desire to share these metaphysical concepts with others, he put up in 1983 the Temple of Prayer, Peace, and Prosperity, otherwise known as TOP, a transformational and developmental center which is ecumenical and non-sectarian. A few years later, George was ordained by the community of New Thought in Scottsdale, Arizona, as district president of INTA Philippines. His Royal Highness Muhammad Mahakuta Kiram Sultan of Sulu, Tawi-Tawi and Sabah, bestowed the title of Maharaja Adinda or heir apparent to George de la Fuente Sison. This is the first time in the history of the Sultanate that such a title and honor has been bestowed on anyone. The Maharaja Adinda takes over the duties of the Crown Prince in the event that the Prince is incapacitated. He automatically becomes advisor and representative of the Sultanate and will act on all claims as well as issues pertaining to the upliftment of the Sultanate and its people, which Sultan Kiram believes will ultimately result in peace. In the late 90s, George produced and hosted a TV show aired over GMA7 called Wheel Your Fortune in the Game of Life.
To tell you how important understanding is. Alam niyo,
In 2002, George wrote the best-selling A Miracle Awaits You, followed by two more books, I Am a Winner, The Feng Shui of the Mind, and Soul Spa. Later on, their Tagalog versions were also released. George is currently hosting a radio program via DWIZ every Saturday at 9 p.m. He also writes for the Philippine Daily Inquirer as a lifestyle columnist. And after being a model decades ago, he returns in print ads, still modeling and giving those baguettes a run for their money. And all his life, this is what George has been trying to prove. You are God as you.
Aquarius is dawning. Aquarius is dawning. Miracles unfolding.